survive in this competition. Honorable members of the Board of Judges, ladies and gentlemen, should I hate my mother for not being with me today? Should I detest her for delegating to my father her maternal responsibility? Should I curse her for depriving me and my siblings her comforting touch and shoulders to cry on? Should I question her when she chose to abandon the many students who needed her expertise as a professor in healthcare? Ladies and gentlemen, my rational mind says no for an answer. My mother is just one of the 8 million migrant Filipinos who seek to answer the demands and vicissitudes of family life. She's one of those who feel they have been stuck in a mired stagnation and desperation in this part of the world where education is not a guarantee for landing a job. Filipinos are not martyrs. They rather would want to be called unpatriotic if patriotism means sticking it out in their homeland despite economic deprivation. Filipino workers are simply pragmatic, and it is this pragmatism that sadly results in a national hemorrhage called brain drain. Learned individuals fly out to the lands of promise. Doctors, nurses, engineers, medical technologists, scientists carry that promise and take exodus to high-paying jobs abroad. It is just unfortunate that the massive flight of medical practitioners creates a doomsday scenario of our country's hospitals in the near future, being packed with patients but emptied of doctors and nurses. This alarm has been ringing all along, but hardly heeded by our leaders, who happen to be floating in cloud 9, singing our path soaring high and getting strong, courtesy of our remittances of expatriates. Added to this is the departure of thousands of teachers and other professionals who would debase themselves by working as maids and caregivers in a foreign land rather than compromise the future of their children. They take the risk despite the knowledge that their absence might result in dysfunctional families with thousands of motherless children becoming hooked on drugs and alcohol and girls experiencing teenage pregnancy. With 3,000 Filipinos leaving our country every day, the social toll could be awfully tremendous. But in these days of diminished expectations and augmented consternation, Filipino workers are pushed to the limits, choosing what they feel is the lesser evil. But if luck is on their side, the decision to leave would mean a fortune in the land of milk and honey, and in nations where oil springs abound. Will our country be forever exporting labor and talent in exchange for dollar? Do we hone skills and dexterity only to sell them out to benefit other territories? Do we produce technologists and scientists to propel the advancement of other countries? Ladies and gentlemen, we can still nod our heads to a brawn drain, but to couple it with brain drain may lead to a total erosion of Filipinos' bounty. This is catastrophe in the making. Before we get engulfed in the pangs of this crisis, it is urgent that our leaders revisit their priorities. The culture of migration permeating Philippine society is something we cannot boast of as it mirrors the country's weak governance. It is time that a drastic action be done. If it is poverty that drives Filipinos out of the country, stamp out poverty. Resources should be poured into where they should go, not to the pockets and bank deposits of the powers that be. If a health disaster is impending due to the mass exit of doctors and nurses, reform the system to ensure better compensation to the medical and health workers. Where unemployed teachers become a resource for supermaids abroad, turn the potential funds for the cyber ed project to the construction of classrooms and hiring of teachers. Lest we see big slices of the funds go as bribe and rewards to corrupt officials. If we want the Philippine economy to keep afloat, it is imperative that we must learn to care for the dollar reserves remitted by overseas workers. Stop squandering foreign exchange on junkets! Don't allow public officials and businessmen to fatten themselves on the sweat and tears of Filipinos sacrificing abroad. Remove the siege travel restrictions imposed on Filipinos of high ability and solid ambition. But in the event that our country feels the painful brunt of migration, such drastic measure becomes inevitable. We can hammer out brain gain policies to entice professionals to return to the Philippines. Compensation structure and job opportunities are core elements in which migration is predicated. It is said subordinated by hopelessness and discontent. Address these issues and complement it with high resolve and political will, and it shall make a difference in this nation of 82 million people. We need not wait until every cell of the Filipino brain is drained. To the leaders of the land, we, the youth, shall soon join the Filipino workforce. And as we chart our own future, we ask that you pave the way for its realization, not in a distant land, but in our own nation. Sing your deliverance of the horizon, we have but 7 last words to proclaim. Unto your hands, our fate